2025 was an interesting year for LEGO Star Wars, to say the least. I don't think I can recall a more tumultuous year for the theme than 2025. The LEGO Star Wars community was in an uproar this entire year. Like with any LEGO Star Wars year, there was the good, the bad, the ugly, and the $160 clone turbo tank set that had hardly over 800 pieces and fell apart in your hands anytime you tried to pick it up. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there for a second. Needless to say, this was a controversial outing for LEGO Star Wars, but there were still some diamonds amongst the rough. So without further ado, here are my picks for the top 10 best LEGO Star Wars sets of 2025. As with any of my end of year lists, the only rule is it has to be an official LEGO Star Wars set released in 2025. That's it. That should make perfect sense, so now let's dive into the countdown. Number 10, set number 75405, Home 1 Star Cruiser. LEGO Star Wars is now in its third sort of year for this MIDI-scale sub-theme called the Starship Collection, and I really like these sets, and only one of the sets made the top 10 this year, and that's the Home 1 Star Cruiser. I thought the color scheme of this set, which I talked about in my review way earlier in the year, was a little bit off. They threw in way too many colors that I don't think are accurate to the canonical appearance of this vehicle in universe. However, the bubbly nature of this ship is really hard to capture in LEGO, but they did a very nice job with this design. It was a bit too expensive at $70 US. This set probably could have had a spot in the top 5 if it were $10 cheaper and had a better color scheme, but as is, it's still a top 10 set in my opinion. And it was also nice to finally get this vehicle in LEGO form. The only representation we ever had for the Home 1 was the 2009 set, but that was the interior, so getting the exterior was fantastic to see. Number 9, set number 75435, Battle of Felucia Separatist MTT. Last week, I asked y'all what your favorite playscale LEGO Star Wars set was from this past year, and the MTT here won pretty handedly with nearly 1,000 votes. And in some ways, I agree with that sentiment. I do think this is probably the best playscale design of the year. The only reason it's not my highest ranked playscale set is pretty obvious, and that's the price. $160 for sub 1,000 pieces is abhorrent. I cannot believe how much they are charging for this thing. And it's a testament to how good the design of this set is that it actually still made the list despite that horrible price. This build looks really sleek, and that play function to deploy the battle droids is an all-time great feature. It also came with some dope minifigures, highlighted by Commander Bly finally appearing in LEGO form. This was a really cool set that was unfortunately held back by a horrible deal. Number 8, 75402, ARC 170 Starfighter. After 15 years, LEGO finally delivered another playscale rendition of the ARC 170 Starfighter, and it was smaller than the 2010 version, which was controversial for a lot of LEGO Star Wars fans. However, I think it's sleeker. I think the function to engage the S-foils, it was way better, and overall it was a pretty good looking design with 4 fantastic minifigures. The price per piece wasn't ideal, but the size to price ratio I thought was decent, especially for 2025 standards, and overall I was mostly satisfied with this ARC 170 Starfighter set, and I kind of feel like it's underrated. Did it reinvent the wheel? No, absolutely not. That's why it's only at number 8, but it's a good LEGO Star Wars set and better than a lot of the schlock we got from this year. This one deserves more credit. Number 7, set number 75432, V19 Torrent Starfighter. This is my personal favorite playscale LEGO Star Wars set of the year. First off, the $65 price tag for 2025 was one of the best deals you're gonna find for a LEGO Star Wars set this past year. With all the ridiculous price tags floating around, this one felt like it was mostly worth that price. Maybe it's $5 more than it should have been, but come on, that's not that bad. Additionally, the 3 minifigures included are spectacular. That Obi-Wan figure, you'll see him next week in my top 10 figures of the year. Saj Ventress looks really good, and while the visor on the new clone pilot is a little bit derpy looking, it was still nice to finally get a proper mold for that helmet. And the build was nice. Yeah, it's very downscale from the 2008 version of the V19 Torrent, and yeah, it's definitely not as cool in terms of play functions as that old set. But other than that, I think it looks really solid across the board, and it still functions well. It was an overdue remake, the minifigures were fantastic, the build was solid, and it was a great deal. This set was pretty much the complete package, if you ask me. Number 6 is set number 75408, Jango Fett helmet. LEGO kind of surprisingly brought back the helmet series this year in 2025, and they gave us 3 pretty solid helmet sets. While the Kylo Ren helmet and the AT-AT driver helmet weren't really that close to making this top 10, this Jango Fett helmet is an amazing set, and it would have probably been easily in the top 5 if it weren't for some horrible stickers above the visor. Other than that though, I think objectively this is one of the best helmet sets LEGO has ever done. The shaping was so good, and it made the 2020 Boba Fett helmet look so bad by comparison. It's crazy how much better and more refined this set looked just 5 years after the fact. And I'm a sucker for Jango Fett, and you'll see that reflected later on in this list as well. I was so happy to get this set, and it looked really darn good. Kicking off the top 5, we have set number 75417, the UCS AT-ST. It had been 19 years since our last version of the AT-ST in the Ultimate Collector series. I felt like this was a long overdue remake, and LEGO finally delivered kind of unceremoniously this year. There wasn't a whole lot of hype about this set. It was definitely overshadowed by the other 2 UCS sets released here in 2025. But that being said, I think it's a really solid looking design. I couldn't ask for much more from the shaping. It just looks really darn good. I mean, look at it. It's an AT-ST. It's not the most exciting vehicle in the Star Wars canon, but LEGO replicated it very well. And it was also nice to have a $200 UCS set. Yeah, the part count wasn't great for $200. It could have maybe been 170, 180, but it wasn't horrible and relatively comparable to older UCS sets at the same price tag. And I think we should champion just solid UCS builds that look a lot like the source material. This set was really darn good, and I wish more people were talking about it. Number 4 is 75434 K2SO. LEGO really doubled down on the brick-built characters this year, and only one of them made my top 10 list, and it's this K2SO design. First off, some personal bias, K2SO might be my favorite droid character in the entire Star Wars universe. I just love the dude. Also, he was awesome to see in Andor Season 2, so there's definitely some bias there as well. But the build just looked really darn good. Upon initial reveal, I was kind of hesitant about the eyes. I do think they look a little bit odd in the rendered images. However, after seeing reviews of this set, I came around on the eyes, and I think they're solid. And even if the eyes aren't the best ever, everything else about this design is incredible. And ultimately, this set was also only $90 despite being taller than a lot of these other brick-built droid characters. It was nearly 10 cents per piece as well, which yielded one of the best values of the year from the LEGO Star Wars theme, something that's becoming, relatively scarce here. So great value, a great build, a great character results in a set ending up in our top 4. Kicking off the top 3, we have set number 75419, the UCS Death Star. I know some people are probably going to be mad I even put this in the top 10, let alone the top 3, and trust me, I was confounded on how to rank this set. Because objectively speaking, if you just showed me the build of this set, it would be easily number 2. It wouldn't be better than our number 1 set, and I bet you all can probably predict what number 1 is going to be in today's video, but it would be right behind it. I think the build is dope. I think it's the best UCS Death Star they've done besides the 2005 version. It's a very sleek, very cool, sizable build with great little diorama sequences. However, at the same time, the minifigures are pretty lame, even though you do get 38 of them. And the price of this set is kind of wild because it's literally $1,000. Like, paying your rent for one single LEGO set is crazy. But on the flip side of that, I actually don't think $1,000 is a bad deal for what's included, relatively speaking, especially when compared to other UCS sets around this price point. And I'm currently working on a video essay comparison, kind of elaborating more on my stance there. I need to make kind of a thesis statement about it, which is why ultimately I decided this set deserved a top 3 spot. I know this is going to be a controversial ranking, and it's fine if you disagree, but I think this set is still pretty awesome despite being an absolutely insane price. Our penultimate set today is number 2, 75407 brick-built Star Wars logo. I'm curious to see if there's going to be an odd reaction to me putting this set super high. There wasn't a ton of hype about this set when it came out this past May 4th, but I love this thing, and I think we're objectively just ignoring how perfect this design is. Like, I literally have no flaws with this build. It looks amazing. It looks like the Star Wars logo. It's so well done. I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. It also had 700 pieces for $60, and it was a sizable build as well. Plus, the little Easter egg on the inside was cute too. I quite enjoyed that. I think really the reason people don't like this set is because it has no minifigures, it's not super interesting, but come on y'all. Objectively, this is a perfect LEGO Star Wars set, and it also goes well with any LEGO Star Wars display like ever. I love this thing. If it weren't for how much I adore the #1 set this year, it could have been #1. This set is so darn good, and I'm curious to see how you guys react to me ranking it this high. Now, before we reveal the #1 spot, I do have some honorable mentions I want to go through of sets that narrowly missed out on the list. The Gingerbread AT-AT Walker just came out, and it's such a fun Christmas-themed LEGO Star Wars set. I'm not the craziest fan of Christmas-themed LEGO Star Wars stuff, so it was never going to make my top 10. This is probably the best Christmas set they've ever done. Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter Microfighter is a microfighter, and it'd feel weird putting a microfighter in a top 10 video, but it's a great microfighter with one of the best figures of the year in Plo Koon. The Battle Droid with Stap set was a good price away from probably making this top 10. That Stap is basically a UCS build, and the brick-built Battle Droid looks cool too. I also really enjoyed the MIDI-scale Acclimator class assault ship this year. That was a fun design and cool for prequels fans. And finally, the May 4th promo of the Camino training facility this year is one of the best May 4th promos they have ever done. That clone figure is so cool. With those honorable mentions out of the way, it's time to reveal #1, set number 75409, Jango Fett's Starship. Before I rave about this set, I have two issues I wanted to point out. #1, it's called Jango Fett Starship. It should be Slave 1. I've ranted enough about this. #2, the young Boba Fett minifigure is really lame. It's not the best figure LEGO could have done. However, on the flip side, Jango Fett's figure is the best version they've ever created of that character, and it's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. And Jango Fett's Slave 1 is one of my favorite Star Wars vehicles. I just adore the color scheme of this thing, and it had been 23 years since LEGO last made it, and boy, they just knocked it out of the park. Similar to how the Jango Fett's helmet set made the old Boba Fett helmet set look way worse by comparison, this thing just blew the water away from the original UCS Slave 1 from 2015. I thought that set 10 years ago was like the pinnacle of LEGO Star Wars design and engineering, but it looks kinda crappy in comparison to this new Slave 1 build. I'm obsessed with its design. It's just so darn good, man. And it was a pretty good value as well, which was really nice to see. As soon as this set was revealed, I knew it was going to be the #1 LEGO Star Wars set of the year. It's one of the best UCS sets LEGO has literally ever created. I absolutely adore this thing, and I am so confident in saying that set number 75409, Jango Fett Starship Slave 1, is the best LEGO Star Wars set of 2025. And there you have it, y'all. That's my list. Please comment down below with your personal list. And thank you so much for watching today's video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.